Welcome to Sales Talk, where it's all talk about sales. So today we're going to talk about the difference between a good salesperson and a great salesperson. And there's really not much difference, a good salesperson, anybody can be good at anything with minimal amount of education and experience and support. And as we evolve in our language and our versed processes and our language associated with sales, once we have that well practiced and well versed and it becomes polished, then those help the stepping stones to becoming great. And there really is a difference between somebody who's good and somebody who's great. And it comes throughout the entire sales process, and over time, as we have experiences and we learn and we grow from those experiences. Experience and education is what brings us to perfect, or I don't think we're ever perfect, but a higher elevated experience when it comes to sales. And it's that salesperson who practices and grows and learns every single day. We've been talking about that, and we'll hear about that probably most likely in every single session, because it really is a product of growth. But the way that we articulate, the language that we use, noticing our surroundings, who's around us, mirror and matching their language, and coming and building rapport instantly. If you're somebody that you find is easy to build rapport with another person, then you are far further along than a lot of people. And usually introverts are those people that have a challenge with building rapport initially. And it comes down to our meet and greet, our language over the phone, our tonality. All of that comes into play when we're thinking about what makes a great salesperson. And it's our personality. Are you a positive person? Have you set yourself up for success for the day? And how do you do that? There's a lot of strategies that can be used in coloring our day and what that looks like from the very beginning, from the time that we wake up. For example, for me, I don't set snooze anymore. I'm also 52 years old, and when I was in my early 20s and late 20s when I first got into sales, it was much different. I was in a different mindset back then, and we can explore that a little further too. But, now as I've learned and I've grown, I want to start my day off right. And the way that I do that is I get up, I don't press snooze, I stand on my feet, and I recite at least four things, and usually it's more, of things that I'm grateful for the day. And it is as simple as I'm vertical. I don't have health issues at the moment. And I value that I don't have health concerns. So I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my surroundings. I have a quality roof over my head, and my relationship with my children is something that I am grateful for every single day. So when I wake up in the morning, I recite several things that I'm grateful for. And how do you think that that's going to color your day? When you wake up and you're already setting it up for, positive experiences, and, who will I be able to serve today? So, and that's one thing that I've learned most recently is that, reciting, to God or your higher power that, I want to serve 10 people today. Because that's really what we are. We're in a service industry, whether we're selling a product or a service. So we need to find those connections, and we need to have those connections. But if we can create a foundation where we are looking to serve as many people as we can in any given day, then we're already setting ourselves up for success for that particular day. And of course, we all have, life is a roller coaster ride. There's always ups and downs, and how we manage those downward experiences is really a reflection of how we set it up for the day. When I was younger and I was in my early 20s and late 20s and I was just getting into sales, when challenges showed up, they were always large challenges. They were seemingly impossible to handle. But one thing I would tell my younger self is that, just relax, you'll get through it. It's just spilt milk. We all know that metaphor. You can always clean up spilt milk. Doesn't matter how much milk there is, it can always be cleaned up. So, when you face challenges with that simplicity, then you're better prepared to be able to think through the challenge and work through it to create, if you're working with a client, then creating a win-win solution, solving their problem. If they need to back out of the transaction for one reason or another, you'll discover whether or not that their intentions are pure and that they're not, just maliciously making up something in order to back out of a transaction and follow through with what they said that they were going to do. So and that's just one example. There's so many challenges that we face throughout our lives, whether it's financial challenges or emotional challenges. Maybe it's relationship challenges. It could be family unit challenges. It could be, all sorts of things show up. And usually at the most imperfect time, it could be that challenges could be compounded on, one upon another. But getting through those challenges and the way that you handle that is going to be really a reflection of your willingness to be able to handle them with confidence, and then also streamlining the process based on what you already know. As you get older, I can promise you that your challenges get bigger and bolder and more challenging. So, going back to my younger self, I would tell myself, just take it easy and work through the process, and there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. There's always a solution to any problem or challenge. So, as I've evolved and now fast forward to today, the challenges are bigger. The challenges are usually more complex. But based on my experiences and what I've taught myself is that I can handle any challenge that's thrown at me. So, but it begins with a positive foundation. And that's how we wake up in the morning. What is our plan for the day? Have we planned our day? If we if we're working a particular workload and we have a task list that's created for the day, managing that task list and prioritizing it. If you have a challenge with what you're going to wear the next day, how about pull out your clothes that you're going to wear the next day and set them aside right by the shower, so that you don't have to think about that. If it's, whatever may show up that you can handle the night before. If you have a particular to-do list that you have a certain clientele that you need to contact and you want to get that done by noon, make sure you write that down and write the contacts names and phone numbers down that you need to contact, so that you're prepared to start those in the morning and get after it right away and get that list done as quickly as possible. So for example, if you have a to-do list of 20 things that you can accomplish in an hour, if they're business related, or and then once you start your business day, get those done the first hour of the day so that you can confidently create momentum for that particular day. So once you complete those tasks, one small tasks, moving in that direction is momentum. It creates momentum to be able to fast track and get yourself to a position of new business and new clients and doing things that are more productive, that are helping you accomplish your goals. Say, for example, you have an income goal and you need to contact 30 clients a day. You have to make 30 calls a day. Get those 30 calls done by noon, and then see what shows up for the rest of the day, because the rest of the day will be planning and following up and doing other productive activities that get you to the ultimate goal, which is to increase your paycheck. And there's always one more. There's always room for one more sale, one more call, one more plan, one more positive affirmation. All of those things, help to create momentum for you. If it's personal, plan on, and you know that it's going to take an hour of your time before you start work, wake up an hour earlier. Get those tasks completed within that hour so that you're prepared to be able to be productive at work. If you work for somebody else, you're going to be held accountable for those actions. If you work for yourself, then those are distractions that can take you away from doing engaging in more productive activities. So going back to what's a good salesman and what's a great salesperson, it really, if you think of the analogy of a horse race, right? And there's only one winner in a horse race. And how much is that one horse different than the horse that came in second? The one that won the race isn't necessarily a better, faster horse. It's just he was one nose better than the person that came in second. That difference, that one nose length difference, is the difference in all of the money or the big purse compared to the second place winner, who gets maybe 20% of what the winner got in terms of money, but in terms of an award for winning the race. And that's no different in sales. It's those salesperson that are committed to engaging in activities for growth and learning, and they listen to the material in their car and on their iPods and on their phone in their spare time when they're working out. You're listening to all these influences that are coming into yourself, that are you're employing into yourself. And that's what we do. We engage in those positive activities so that if you've always got positive things that are coming into your mind, what do you think is going to come out? It's going to be an expression of the things that you've been bringing in. So gravitate and surround yourself with that content, with those mentors that you have. And mine, they were the sales gurus of the past, and I really don't like to use that word guru, so we'll change that. But those that have a lot of experience in sales and are great mentors, like Brian Tracy and Tony Robbins and Ed Milet and Ed Pinero, all of these names are all the influences that I gravitate towards, right? And I'm always in a state of learning. So that's the difference between a good and a great salesperson. And you have a choice. You have a choice to commit to a lifelong of learning, or you have a choice to continue to drink with your buddies, go out to the bar, hang out till all hours of the night, wake up in the morning and come into work sluggish and really just shuffle your paperwork around and organize your desk, if that's what you want to call it, but you're moving paper from one side of the desk to the next, and this takes you until noon and before you can make your first call, and you have all these excuses in terms of why you weren't able to make that first call until noon, and then you finally make that first call, and now you're getting your day started. So now you've shortened your work day from say 9 a.m. until noon, and you've exhausted all of those hours. And I could tell you from experience, I'm guilty of that. When I was young and I was in my youth, and like I said, this goes back to my 20s when I started a career in sales. So I would do the same thing, and I didn't realize what was going on at the time. I thought it was a normal procedure, get your day organized, move my business cards around for my contacts that I generated over the week, and all of my organization methods that I had in place. I would organize those, and I would start to set myself up for the day. And that was what I thought was normal, but really what I was doing was I was just trying to get over the hangover from the night before. Trying to get through those hours to get to noon so that I know that I would start to feel better and get that cup of coffee in me. And that's not productive. So if you're going to commit to sales, I recommend that you truly, commit to it early and as often as possible. Commit to it as early as possible. Find mentors that will help guide you. And those are the activities of great salespeople. And you can look around in your office and you'll be able to tell who the great ones are. Not only does everybody talk about that great salesperson or that great, those great salespeople, but they exude confidence. When you walk up to them, how do they shake your hand? Is it with a limpy, soggy, wet handshake, or is it too firm? And because both of those things can occur. It's got to be just right, and you'll know whenever you engage with somebody what the just right greeting is or handshake is, whether it's when you're just meeting them or when you're closing the deal. So have that in mind. Those things are important. Nobody wants to work with somebody who's got such a tight hand grip that it almost hurts when they shake your hand. And what that does is that tells you a little bit about who that person is. That's a person who wants to take control of the situation and has that type of a personality. And that's okay to some degree. But being that you're working with several different personalities, it's good to realize what a good handshake is. And I'm not opposed to giving them a hug. A hug is better than a handshake, in my opinion. Hugs are free. And that embrace is going to set you apart from, your competition, the person that just gave them a handshake and didn't embrace them, with kindness and love. And that's really what you're doing is the impact that you're creating is very heartfelt, and it's genuine, and it's realized. And your clients, your customers, your prospects are absolutely going to feel that every single time. And there is no better way to greet somebody than with a hug. Guy, girl, the kids, all of it. But every situation is different. Every salesperson is different. So do what's right for you. But understanding that, the things that are different than what your competition is doing is going to set yourself apart from the crowd. And again, same thing in the on the floor with the sales guys. What's going to set you apart is the things that you're doing differently than what they're doing. So I encourage you to look around the room, find out, who's doing what, and learn and observe. Be an observer. And then you can take that information and you can apply it to your personality and what you find in terms of a support mechanism to be able to create a foundation of positivity and an overall appreciation for servitude to your client. Then again, it goes back to what I said initially, is that's who we are. We're service people for our clients. We're mirroring and matching and we're aligning them with our product or service to better their lives and their situation. What's in it for them, not what's in it for you. Forget about the paycheck. The paycheck's going to come by the more people that you can serve. And you don't even have to think about your paycheck any longer once you get to that level. And it starts with learning and growth. So I encourage you to turn your vehicle into a university on wheels. I encourage you to wake up in the morning and listen to whatever modality that you find helpful for you. For me, it's meditation music, and I also spend quite a bit of time with either reading and or listening to some of the names that I've already mentioned in this video that help me set my day off to a degree of positivity and servitude. So recognize that all of these resources are available to you and utilize them. Investing in yourself, investing in the products is an investment in yourself. It's an investment in your growth, in your learning. And that's a choice that only you can make. So you get to choose how you wake up in the morning. Do you wake up all sluggish and hungover and from the night before and your head's pounding and you're dragging your feet, whether or not you want to go to work, whether you should call in, what the day is going to look like? Or do you want to wake up with a smile on your face and you're pleasant and you're grateful? You're grateful for all of these things. I'm grateful for my kids and I'm grateful for my relationship with God. And I'm grateful for the roof over my head, and I'm grateful for sunsets and sunrises, and I'm grateful for the rose plant that I have outside that I get to open the door and I get to smell the roses, because that's something that we just don't do as often as we should. And going for that walk and being healthy and feeling alive, all of that is so important. You have the choice. You have the choice to be able to live in a world of positivity or focusing on the negative. If you want to watch the news every day and of course, I'm not saying live your life with your head in the sand, but you should be aware. But don't focus on the things that you cannot control. Work on the things that you can control, and dissect what that means to you. What content do you want to bring inward towards you? And you'll attract that. The law of attraction says so. And if you can visualize it and you can see yourself in that realm of successful, whatever that means to you, and you can see yourself, already living in that arena where you're walking into your beautiful home and you've got you get to go outside and enter into your big barn that you've got with all of your toys, like your ATVs, motorcycles, your pontoon boat, your lawn equipment, because you love to mow the grass and the smell of fresh cut grass in the summer, or you really just appreciate, being able to work on your own place, and that's that, and you find therapy in that, and it's a release, where you get to actually just think and concentrate and focus on yourself. You may not be mowing in a straight line anymore, but but focus on all of the things and how you want to live your life. Bring that inward and already see yourself living that life and living that lifestyle. And that's the difference between good and great, being able to exude that confidence. And when you have the ability to be able to articulate what you really want and being a service to all of your clients and mirroring and matching and learning the sales techniques and the strategies, which we'll talk about in another video. But it's really important to be able to live with passion and wake up every morning and know that you have a purpose and you have a reason that you're going to work every single day, and all of those clients that you're going to help and you're going to serve. And the more that you can serve, the more that your income is going to be realized, and the more that you're going to have a completeness and a wholeness within yourself. So take that information today, and I hope observing this information will allow you to open up your mind and free yourself to be able to allow content to come in. Great days, and I look forward to seeing you again.